Well, you found me. This is the Vintage Wood Shop. I'm Sandy, and as I like to say, welcome to my playpen.
What I have here are a whole bunch of little different pieces of wood that I'm considering making you a bowl with. The piece I've decided on is this one, because you were so interested in this whole process of resin. This has all kinds of nooks and crannies in which resin will reside when I'm finished. So the first thing I need to do is make it flat. Second thing I do, make it round, and then we'll hit the shop and do the resin. So here we go. An inch. I'm going to shave a little off the outside so that it fits down inside the mold tightly. Bottom down. Now I have to deal with some of the spaces, because I want to take up as much room with wood as I can so that I don't have to use so much resin. If you've watched my other videos, you've noticed that I do prefer working with black walnut. Same template I used to cut the disc over at the bandsaw. This is going to be put into the mold as a base plate. Everything is in the bucket. I got the side of it cleaned up. The piece of black walnut is ready to go in there after I've done the pour. So, what is the pour? The pour is this. This is resin. This is the hardener. Here we go. I am going to mix up 750 milliliters of resin. I'm hoping that will be enough. That means I need 500 milliliters of the resin and 250 milliliters of hardener. Then I'm going to, after it's mixed, pour it into separate cups. Now for color. Blue pearl. Pearl coral and silver. Favorite combination. I can actually feel the temperature of the resin increasing slightly, and when you look at the resin coming off of the stick, you can see the degree of opacity. And the moment of truth. Now, I'm informed by watching YouTube videos that the degree to which each of these colors will stay separated here in the mold is dependent upon how warm the resin is when it goes in. Now, I haven't had enough experience to see if that's true or not, and it is warming up, but I've seen videos where it's been recommended that you wait for 8, 10, 12 minutes before you pour. I don't have that much patience. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, what I forgot to point out earlier is, from here it goes into the pressure pot. Why does it have to go into the pressure pot? It needs to go under pressure because there are all kinds of little bubbles that you don't want to see in the final product. So these little tiny bubbles, when put under 60 pounds of pressure and kept under pressure until the resin hardens, is the reason that we need to use a pressure pot. So let's see if I can fill the sucker up this time.
To mislead, this is all you need. Be your everything, yeah, I'll be your everything. Still too soon to feel, please just say it's real. More than just a thrill, not just in it for the...
There it is, all sealed up, ready to go. See you tomorrow.
I spared you of the violence of getting this out of the mold. Suffice it to say, the bucket survived, but just barely. And you can see we have a problem. If you go back and look, when I poured this, it was the level of the resin was above the piece of walnut here, and when it went into the bucket, the air was compressed, lowered the level of the resin. So now I have to pour more resin, but I got to get ready to do that.
So I've mounted the project up in the coal jaws, and I'm flattening off the piece of black walnut that I cast into it originally. This will eventually be the base of the pedestal. That allowed me to flip it and to flatten off what is going to be the bottom of the project so that I can epoxy on an additional piece of black walnut to serve initially as a tenon and then become part of the pedestal.
The last section of this video. It took forever for Amazon to deliver the new supply of resin. So I'm ready to do the pour on this where I ran short on the original pour. These are the colors I've chosen to use. Pretty. Let's get at it. Well, there it is. I just came in from the house. I checked, and the last time I pulled this thing out of the pressure pot when I had run short of resin was exactly 10 weeks ago. But here it is, ready to go. I'm gonna strip it down, get it mounted up on the lathe, and start making shavings. Gotta get my hat on so I don't get my hair messed up. We're ready to roll. Still ended up with one big void here. I can fill that with something else. system. And I know for a fact coring this piece is going to require changing and sharpening that cutter at least 3 times. So, gonna go set it up. Got the shop all clean. Notice how I can change the shape of the core simply by changing where my pivot point is. And of course that changes the depth to which I'm going to cut. I'm only going to cut in about this deep. But I'm thinking that I want a really deep cut. And I'm thinking it's that. I'm going to core out. I'm going to core off this entire piece, starting to cut just below this line. I don't like the color combination of where the old pour and the new pour went together. So I'm going to core it out below that and make enough of a piece that I've got a good pedestal. Rest gets set at 70 degrees. There's a little measuring device that comes with the kit. Perfect. Mount this up, hit it 3 different ways on the wheel and it's sharp. Let's watch it work. It goes this way, and this way. I'm going to go this way first.
Thought I'd just share with you the beauty of the resin shavings oozing out of that mortise that I was cutting there. Another moment of sharing here. This is in real time. No, I didn't slow it down to slow motion, but just the thrill of getting covered in resin shavings is here for your visual appreciation. I had planned on doing this, but the color combination I used created a better effect than I really expected. Pleasant little surprise. Earlier in the video you saw me boring mortises into the base of the bowl and into the top of the pedestal. So now I'm cutting a loose tenon to join the two pieces together. It's done. Turned out pretty well. It's got some cool little things that I didn't even see. This appears that I almost joined the funnel club, but this too was planned. The little effects that I didn't notice until I actually started putting on the abrasive paste were these striated marks along the edge of the bowl. And I believe that they are saw marks left over from the bandsaw when I actually created the bowl blank. The little dots you see there are just little tiny fragments of some of the wood that I shoved into the pot to take up space. There are some more of the saw marks. It created a really unexpected, delightful little effect there. Fun bowl. So until next time, strap on that tool belt, get out to the shop, pick up that piece of wood, and go looking for the beauty that Mother Nature put in there for you to find.